everyone. This is Josh and Dan from MGP here, again, celebrating our 10th anniversary. Been a while. So this time we wanted to give you a video that was just a little bit more about us. You've heard our music, you've presumably heard our talking about videos and things if you've been watching. We just wanted to kind of give you a couple of quick details about us, just in case you're curious, and maybe to sort of kind of relate to us a little bit more, or at the very least, we hope you'll find some of this interesting. But first question I want to ask, and I think this is a pretty common one among guitar players, is what are some of your favorite guitars?
Well, I gotta start with, it's really too tough to put them in any kind of an order, but I'll just start by saying Glenn Tipton. When I would hear, pre-songs in the 80s, I just remember thinking that the soloing was just absolutely fantastic. And I do want to make a side note with this and say that I actually invented Twitter in my mind in 1988, because I thought in 88, I was like, I really want to know what Glenn Tipton's doing right now. Is he like out at the barbecue or out fishing or playing a concert or practicing his guitar? And how am I supposed to know this stuff? I can't just like read it in a magazine. And here we are 20 years later, like in 09 or something, invented Twitter, where like all these like stars get on there and go, oh yeah, well, I'm petting my dog, and it gets like 6,000 likes. And I just think it's hilarious because like I had that like subconscious urge to want something like that back in the 80s, to, be a little bit closer to what your idols are doing and like kind of like know what they're all about, besides just seeing them in the back of the album and seeing some cool guy playing a guitar or whatever. But yeah, Glenn Tipton, light years, fantastic guitar player. God bless him. I know he's suffering from Parkinson's now, but hopefully he's doing good. And another huge influence on me, of course, Alex Lifeson from Rush. I still remember when I heard that first Rush album. I know most people think of all their other stuff and the proggy stuff and the 80s stuff and the 90s stuff, but that first album though, just hearing the riff from Finding My Way and hearing that riff from Working Man, I mean, my God, you can't beat that. It's just unbelievable. And so Alex is up there. I mean, and another thing I want to mention about that is we were at one of the very last concerts Rush ever did. I think it was maybe like within the last 10 that they played, easily within the last 10, and we were in about the fourth row because our friend Mark, I know you're out there, Mark, you're awesome, man. He got us these amazing tickets, and we're like 4 rows back, and towards the end of the concert, it might have been towards the end of the first half or the second half, I can't remember, but Alex took one of his picks, flung it out into the crowd. I was standing there like, oh my God, I put my hand up like this. It literally bounced off my hand. I went like that. I couldn't catch it. It went underneath the seat in front of me, and this guy was standing there, a little bit older, so I kind of like felt, okay, have some respect. Don't just like throw him out of the way and grab the pick. But I literally let him get it. But anyways, yeah, I never got that pick. But yeah, Alex. And then just to name one more, and it might conflict with what you want to say, I don't know, but Brian May, another one. I mean, just the sounds of the guitar. I mean, not as much in like the playing and the riffs, but like the sounds that he was creating, and then the harmonies, of course. I mean, you can't beat it. It's just absolutely fantastic. And all three of those guys are so different that it allowed me to like all three of them. They're not too similar to each other. So those are probably my top three, without thinking about it too hard. What about you?
As you mentioned, Brian May for sure. Mm-hmm. I think that he's very inspiring because not only, he's just a very unique guitar player. When you hear him play in a song, you pretty much know it's him. He's got that unique tone. He built his guitar. Really, really cool. He gets so many different tones. He was big into like every little lick he would do. He would layer and pick a different switch, and it's just so many layers of awesomeness with him as a guitar player.
Absolutely.
Another one for me, I would say, is Paul Gilbert. I like him quite a bit. He did a lot of classical stuff that I started to kind of learn, like the instruction video, Guitar from Mars or something like that. I think there was a classical piece of it, and I learned a lot of that stuff, and I think that influenced me classically a lot. Plus, he's just an awesome guitar player. I've watched some videos of him like playing live stuff. He was in that space, the space suit. Oh my gosh, when he plays that, stuff. Scarified? I think it's Scarified. And holy crap, I mean, all three of those musicians are awesome. But I mean, and to do that whole thing live without a mistake is really, really killer.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Paul Gilbert. And plus, great personality, too. He's not one of these, like, pretentious, like, oh, blah, blah, I'm so great. He's just down to earth and just totally amazing at guitar.
Yeah, absolutely. And as a quick aside, like, he and Marty Friedman, I've seen them on like a show in Japan where they kind of, different guitar players go back and forth and they're playing licks. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is cool. Go by the alphabet, like Dio,
right?
Europe, yeah, foreigner. Like just kind of keep going right through the alphabet, playing different.
It's pretty amazing because not much stumps them, you know. So
yeah,
it's like it's awesome. And you know, I would say as far as just one more guitar player, hugely influential to me was Michelangelo Badio. I mean, he, you know, the way he plays so incredibly fast and clean. Like, you know, I rarely ever hear him make mistakes, and he's playing a million miles. Yeah, not to mention all the double neck, quad neck, playing back and forth, left and right hand. The guy is amazing. And I mean, you know, a lot of people listen to that and they're like, well, you know, it doesn't have much soul or feeling. And I guess I can, yeah, I mean, I can see that argument, but man, like his technique and his choices for passage, I mean, it's just amazing. His arpeggios are unsurpassed, and yeah, I mean, plus his picking technique, just like, you know, that was a big thing that influenced me, because a lot of times, you know, you hold the pick and you're picking back and forth, but he always planted those fingers and viewed it more as a record needle. And man, you watch him playing, it's like unreal. It doesn't even look like he's playing the notes. But anyway,
it's unbelievable. I mean, in that band Nitro, I remember I would practice guitar for hours and then like listen to Nitro solos and go, oh, better practice a couple more hours. Like it would just really inspire me to practice.
Absolutely. Yeah. So let's see. A little story about, gosh, how did we get started?
I would say it started by, it had this all start at the piano. When I was figuring out the Conan music, I couldn't get it and it failed miserably and gave it up, put it on the shelf. A bunch of years later, Josh just said, hey man, let's get back and figure out that Conan music. Let's do it together. Let's do it on guitar. It kind of got us started. We kind of just thought it was fun. We did it, put it up. We kind of thought that was it. But it actually started getting some views, which I was surprised. I mean, not that I thought it wouldn't, but I mean, it did pretty well. I mean, it was racking in like thousands of views, and we were thinking to ourselves, geez, I mean, this is just like us having fun here. I mean, it's not like we're like, you know, Pink Floyd or something, you know? So it was like, it was really cool. And then it kind of inspired us to keep going. It took a while to get started though. Like that next one we did, Escape from New York.
Yeah.
And it was a while later. Yeah. And then like the next one after that was a while after that. But then we kind of were like, hey, let's keep doing this. What do you think here? And he said, what kind of a goal do you have? I was like, what about like 10 videos a year? And that's evolved over the years to now it's like a video every couple weeks. So it's really grown a lot. It started slow and it's kind of like, you know, snowballed into something like a lot bigger and a lot more continuous for people that like that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I concur.
Yeah. So that's how I remember it started anyways.
Yeah, and you know, I think it's not to say that we're a giant YouTube channel by any stretch, but as far as, you know, personal accomplishments, I think, you know, as we kept going and you know, obviously, you know, you can say all day like, I don't care about views and subscribers and this and that, and truth be told, it's low on my priority list, but it's still there. But still, you know,
or we wouldn't make originals called chess to show you playing a game of chess with music in the background. I mean, like, we're not that worried about getting 1 million views. So anyways, like,
well, yeah, and I think too, like, it's really ultimately more about just making something that we're proud of and that we can go back and listen
happy
to
with.
And, yeah, exactly. So
enjoy it later. Like, wow, this is really cool. So,
yeah. Let's see. I'll speak about this one for a second. We get asked a lot of times for tablature for what we do, and we'd love to give you tablature, really. I mean, it's not like what we're playing here we're trying to keep a secret. In fact, a lot of times we try to give you a straight on angle for the entire video so that you can watch exactly what we're doing, and try to emulate it yourself if you want to. There's been a very few times where I've given out some snippets of tablature and people have asked, and I've, you know, offered email. Sometimes they follow through, sometimes they don't, but that's not really the way we operate typically, especially, I mean, Dan has this very special brand of writing tablature in his own notes, which is sometimes tougher than me to decipher. And I mean, yeah.
Here's a little insight to how you would play a little part from Town from Phantasy Star if you're interested. So it's just, you can see there's a lot of arrows and numbers.
It's tough, but you know, it works for him, and I have my method that kind of works for me. And so as a result, though, it's almost insulting to say, well, here's the tablature we used, and you know, you're just seeing like 2 lines and numbers and arrows and repeats. Yeah. I mean, what the heck is this? You know, we try sometimes to keep, you know, maybe some melody tabs, but more often than not, we just don't have them. We use a combination of our own kind of, you know, chicken scratch ways of writing stuff down, and then memory. You know what I mean? And then, you know,
piece it together.
Yeah, exactly. So, in case you're thinking about asking for tabs. Just keep that in mind. We absolutely don't mind you asking, but just know that we might not be.
And maybe one day we will get something going. Maybe we'll hire a tab person to tab it all out for you and put it up somewhere. But I don't know.
That'd be a heck of a job.
It's just such an undertaking because we're constantly working on new songs. I mean, like right now we got Last Kingdom's going to be coming down the pipeline probably later in the summer and the fall. I mean, we're always writing new stuff. We got new original material, working on an echo piece. I mean, so we're not so concerned about going backwards to be like, oh, let's write out the tabs for Tron and give it to somebody. Although you did have that up on the site, that's gotten like a lot of views. But that's really cool. I wish we'd have did more stuff like that. But I mean, maybe one day when we have time or something or retire,
Well, yeah. I mean, that's what it comes down to, Rick. Because we put a lot of time into this, but we also both. I mean, we have families, we work, so it's we do as much as we can. But I mean, it's us two versus some people.
Full entourage of
production team. Somebody's handling video and audio and this and that. We got to do all that stuff while we play.
So we're a little slow at people tabs, but I mean, just watch it, slow it down if you want to. Put it on like half speed because I mean we're not like air guitaring, we're actually playing it so you can just see. But I know sometimes I'm at those weird angles being left-handed, if I'm like that and you can't see it as good. But if you guys really want something, you just ask. So
that is true. What you mentioned too, like what you're seeing, you're hearing. It's not like you mentioned, we're not just playing along to pre-recorded stuff. It's live, but also like if you're seeing it on camera, you're also hearing it. So you can feel pretty confident if you were to slow it down, maybe zoom in a little, whatever you need to do, figure out the part. That it's going to be it. It's not like what the heck, his finger hit the 15, but I heard it's 17. So that's what we're going to do.
That's why we do 72 takes of certain videos. So.
That's true.
Yeah.
Let's see. A quick question that I have for Dan here is, we have on our YouTube page, we have created, over the years, all of our content, we've put them into video albums, and we've kind of been doing this all along. Now, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, my thoughts with that originally was, again, maybe it sounds dated, but, in the 70s and 80s, people would buy vinyls, and you'd have your 5 songs on the A side, your 5 songs on the B side, and song 1 would always be like really strong, and 2 strong, 3 strong, maybe side 2, the first song is strong, and of course the last song is always strong. And I was always attracted to those orders that create the album itself, like the artisticness of the album. You got your fast songs, your slow songs, your medium songs, and I always felt like it kind of brought you through a little journey, if you will, listening to the full album, not just taking each song separately. I think ever since maybe like Napster or iTunes has come out, that people are more just like track oriented. Like, oh dude, I just want that one song, blah blah blah. I just download it for $1, or I guess nowadays for free, and blah blah blah. This is cool, but that's it. But I kind of miss that whole artistry of like a complete album. You know what I mean? So I imagine us making like video albums. The idea never really took off. I don't think anybody really got it, but if you watch those early playlists that we have, they're called like video playlists. They do kind of go through like in the coherency of like an album would, like especially the way we chose the orders. So give it a try sometime. If you look on the page, you can find the playlist, and there's like MGP1, real creative titles, MGP2, MGP3. I still think one day we might name those according to like what was going on at that time. Even though they'll be like backdated, it still might be cool to name them so it's easier to remember for somebody that actually cares. But yeah, trying to capture the album essence, but like with videos, if you will. So NFTs, if you will. So
yeah, and I think that's pretty cool too. So if you do go back and get a chance to check out some of those playlists, keep in mind the order is not just randomized. It's not just based on what we had done at the time. We carefully selected, again, song 1, 2, 3, 4, all based on criteria of what we thought would kind of hit the listener the best. So,
entertaining.
Yeah, definitely give it a view if you can. And that kind of takes me into another thing too. Dan has written a couple of music books.
Yes, some books. I wish I had a couple of shows.
Oh, you just put them up on the screen.
Yeah.
So this book right here.
Yeah, that one there is going to be the first full one that we did together. It's called Styles United, which it's basically like all original music, and the tabs are available for originals, even though nobody wants those. You know what I mean? They'll write in and be like, well, can I get the tabs for Star Wars? But I mean, of course, I'm not going to want to hear like Battleground or Atlantis or something like that, which are ours. But I mean, they're really cool pieces if you listen to them. But yeah, so I've been publishing music on Amazon, kind of having fun with it. So we got some tabs there if you're interested, and probably another book will come out of our dual stuff probably within the next year or so. So we've been chipping away at it, and as we record our videos, I mean, it's in real time. Like, we've recorded a few of them already that are going to be in that next book. But like, once, like, I usually have to write 6 pieces. Once it gets to the 6th piece, we'll probably package into like a small volume. You know, usually they're available for like $7 or $8, so nice and cheap. But you can learn a lot from it too. I mean, if you want to take the time to actually play through some of the stuff.
That's a good point. And if you're looking for something to play that's unique, and you have like a friend or a family member that plays the guitar too, that's extra cool, being able to realize or achieve the whole song, to be able to play like the way that we do. Although you do have some versions of some of them that are able to be played by one player.
Absolutely, yeah. I have a few solo books as well that I've been doing. I mean, I can't help it. I guess I'm just kind of like a compulsive writer, but I mean, I keep coming up with these new ideas and piling up songs and eventually making more books. So definitely going to keep doing it too. It's just really enjoyable. It's really fun to write, and I think it adds a dimension to what we do, because again, I just don't want to be just like a cover band that looks for the trendiest, coolest thing to do. I mean, we do covers, but they're not covers that
they're not exactly trendy back in '87.
I mean, you know, that TriStar theme, you know, that's you know, but I mean, at the same time, some people out there love that stuff, and honestly, I do too. Like, when you hear it, when you're watching your favorite movie and some of that stuff starts, you hear it blasting in the sound system, it is awesome. So I figured, why not?
Yeah, very cool. So yeah, if you get a chance, we'll put the links down in below for you to check out if you'd like to take a look at some of that. And then I would say, I'm assuming that, and based on analytics and YouTube, most people don't really make it to the very end of most videos, unless let alone ours. But at the end of every video, so we never did any talking for a long time, but at the end of every video, I had a suggestion from a friend, and you know, he mentioned like, well, you know, the like and subscribe thing is pretty much status quo. You kind of need to do that. So okay, so I did it, you know, in earnest a couple of times, and then I just thought, like, you know, people don't probably get this far anyway, so I started making jokes out of it. So for each, you know, like and subscribe and thanks for watching, all that stuff, like there's a joke built in at the end of most of our videos in the last, like, what, 3 or 4 years or something like that. So definitely take a look, and actually let's put a real quick let's put something together real quick right now. We'll share it on screen.
If you like American Werewolf in London and or this music, go ahead and lick that like button and squeeze that subscribe button for more content like this. To see more content like this, I'm pretty sure there's another button you can press. Maybe not though. If you like what we're doing here, go ahead and show those buttons some serious affection. Go ahead and scope that like button and agitate that subscribe button. Subscribe, like, all that jazz. Thanks for watching. Love you. Bye. If you like this video, please like and subscribe.
All right, so yeah, that was, you know, basically just a little bit more about us as players, musicians, people. If you have any questions, feel free to post them in the comments, anything like that. One thing that we'd like to really do is take a moment to say thank you. Again, 10 years, a long time, and we've had a lot of help along the way. I'd like to give thanks, and I'm not going to mention any last names just because I'm not sure who wants to be mentioned. And
No, right. I
doesn't,
don't want to embarrass anybody either.
Yeah, my friend Tyler, he's helped out a lot. He actually made it possible to do a lot of these recordings. But yeah, special thanks to Tyler. He's also done a couple of drums for us too, a couple of drum tracks for us, and those have been really cool. Usually always very jungly and cool. Special thanks also to Bill. He's the guy that did, you know, a lot of our artwork that you see, a lot of those little guitar people, a lot of...
the Vikings video, he draws it in real time.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah,
and,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and at the very beginning, he did a couple of pictures for us too. It kind of showed us, like, with guitars, like opening up a cloud of melodies and things coming through. It was pretty neat. He's very creative.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, we appreciate that. And of course, then also Chris, he helped us out. He actually did a little bit of audio for us recently, but he also helped us out, like in our horror video. He was in that actually.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, starred as the zombie. And
I know. That's the one that's really kind of a big disappointment. You know, we put a lot of time into that horror video. It was a big flop. But you know, it was super fun. It actually has some pretty cool music in it if you take time to listen.
Yeah, actually, I think it's pretty well put together. I think it's definitely entertaining enough that it's worth a watch. So, yeah.
It's called Recording Night.
But yeah, so who else here? We also, we thank our respective better halves, Amy and Beth, because without them this wouldn't be possible. They give us the time to do this stuff. Beth also helps out with video stuff, and she's done some camera work and stuff, and Amy has helped out with some camera work in the past, and again, just
they've put in a tremendous amount of work into this.
yeah, and keeping in mind that they didn't have to do anything, so we are really appreciative that
that too.
they were, interested enough to help us out, and and I'm trying to think if there's anybody else specifically.
Just some of the people that have commented over the years. We always appreciate the comments.
But again, we just wanted to offer thanks just to everybody that's been a part of this thus far. It's been a great 10 years, good times, definitely rough times, but good times overall.
And keep sending the requests too. Like sometimes people out of nowhere request stuff that like I've never heard of, Josh never heard of it, and then we listen to it, we're like, wow, it's actually pretty killer. And then sometimes other people like it when we put it up. Like other people are like, wow, this is really good. So we appreciate the requests too.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of times, like you said, like we do them. We can't do them every time because there's
sometimes
only two
it just doesn't work, but sometimes it does.
That's the other thing too. Sometimes you listen to a song and that like if we play this on two guitars, it's gonna sound kind of weak or it needs this or that. So sometimes we can pick stuff around that. But again, we still do always appreciate those, and we always take a look at them and listen to them as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So thank you for that. But yeah, so again, we're celebrating our 10 years here. We just wanted to give thanks to everybody. Hopefully you've learned a little bit more about us in this video. And yeah, here's to another 10 years, huh?
Heck yeah. 10 more years and 10,000 videos. No, I'm just kidding. But it's a lot of good stuff to come though, I think.
Yeah. So hopefully you'll stick with us through that, and hopefully things will only get better. So in the meantime, everybody stay safe, take care.
Thanks a lot.